It started as peaceful protesting. People were protesting with flowers in their hands, singing. It was really very peaceful protesting. How it started? 3 or 4 12 years old boy, pre-elementary school, they wrote on the street, "Freedom to Syria, President go out." So the government took them and tortured them, and one of them, they cut his organ and they threw them in the street for the people to see. If you protest, this is the result. So people started to protest in that city. The government was very brutal and they started shooting with live bullets. They wanted people to be afraid. They wanted people to sit in their houses. So other cities started to rise as well. Stop killing, stop killing. And as I told you, with flowers in their hands, student movement. So without really planning, without really wanting to, I found myself involved in protesting. And one time I really got beaten in front of the faculty entrance. I got beaten to unconscious. How I became inside, I don't know. My friends took me from under their feet. And it's funny, but you know, in French occupation, when Syria was occupied, when the students used to hide in Damascus University, the French occupiers would say, "No, it's university, we cannot go inside." And look at our government, what they are doing. People, even with knowing that if they went to the street, they might be killed, they didn't want our government to keep killing. They wanted to show United Nations and to show the media and to show the world that we don't want this. We are being killed, we are being slaughtered, and nobody is moving. And when you have fire, when you have gun, people cannot stay standing. Everyone who could have gun, they started to fight back. And this is how it started. After the chaos, after the guns, after the brutal killing, it became now the easiest country to go. I mean, now there is all nationalities, Americans, Russians, from Balkans, from Romania, from all nationalities in the world fighting in Syria. Whose fault it is? Let's say that the president is not responsible for killing 300,000 persons. Who's responsible for letting those nationalities, those Islamic State, those terrorists, those Al-Qaeda, who's responsible for letting them in? 80% of this city is destroyed on the ground, and only the government has jet planes to bomb it. It's the government, it's not terrorists, it's not nothing. The government is responsible for all what's happening. Now, of course, now it's civil war, now it's Islamic revolution because of those Al-Qaeda and this ISIS and all, but it's the government's fault. They brought it to us. So I decided that I needed to leave of Syria, just as a break from all the bombing. Away from all of that, you would hear rockets. You know that they are shooting them on other cities, around, on other villages around Aleppo, and you hear them. You hear, this is really terrible. It's really hard to imagine that you hear the rocket and you see it in the sky, and then you feel the ground shaking after 5 minutes, and you know that it's killing civilians. There were no terrorists, no nothing. So I decided to go to Turkey, and other reason that I used to visit Turkey before the war as a tourist, so I know it very well. I know how to go, where to go, I know locations, I know names, So I decided to go to Turkey. But other people, for example, people who live on the south, they would usually go to Lebanon. Even people who managed to leave, like a lot of my relatives, a lot of my father's friends, they went and they sold everything they have, their houses, their cars, whatever, their belongings. By the way, Syria was really economically very strong country. I mean, if you look in Wikipedia, the GDP is double what Serbia is. So we had really strong economy. So they sold everything. They went to Turkey, for example, or to any other country. They simply couldn't find any source of income. No job, they don't speak the language, they know no one. So they simply spent all their money and had to go back from zero or below zero. I came to Serbia because I met a lot of Serbian tourists in Istanbul, and we became really good friends even before coming here to Serbia. In Turkey, you are considered a war refugee, so you cannot work, you cannot do anything. The government is still saying, oh, we will give you, but they will say, we will. But of course, you can work illegally, but the boss will give you less money because you are illegal and you will have not insurance or anything. So it was really horrible and I wanted to leave. Of course, there will be problems, language problems, and such problems that you face as a new life starting. I mean, here, when I came here, it's as if you are bringing someone from kindergarten, doesn't know much about life here, doesn't know the language, doesn't know. So yes, this kind of problems, which is perfect in comparing with others. I'm still very lucky. When the American war on Iraq started, we had a lot of refugees from Iraq. Only then we understood that refugee doesn't mean low life, doesn't mean uneducated person. It means only a person that's seeking refuge for his life. That's refugee. So here still some people feel that refugee is somebody that stinks, somebody that is uneducated, somebody that was living in desert and he's trying to fight good life in Europe, dreamland. But no, it's not true. So refugees are people who are finding refuge. They are fleeing for their life. I only need a safe place to live, and that's why, for example, I don't want to go to Germany. I don't need support. I don't need help from the government. I only need a safe place to know that I'm working, I have my job, I don't want anything else.